to see. Anyway, we are on. I don't even know what this map's called. Do you know?
It wasn't it the scorched something?
Scorched Earth?
No, no. Well, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I don't play 2v2s, alright? I don't remember the names of these maps, and I forgot to check when the game was loading up. So, if you could help me with that in the chat, that would be awesome. But yeah, sorry.
It's all right. So we've got Beaver and Nada's Body playing for Nada's Body, and on the other hand, we've got Lowlands Lions traditional playing with Mel. So two pretty well-known players on the right side of the map, and two completely unknown players to me on the left side of the map. Mel and especially Mel, I've seen his name a few times. Traditional, not so much, but I really feel that the favor is going to be towards the two Terran players on the right side of the map.
Yeah, and Terrans, having two Terrans on our team in a 2v2 is pretty darn good because Terran is a very, very versatile race. They have so many useful units, and each of those units requires a slightly different response, and you can really mix things up as a double Terran team. Now, interesting thing I noticed from Beaver, he went for a gas first into a pull. He really wants to have a very, very, very quick speed, already pulling out the drones and getting that speed. So, I don't know, this can either be a very defensive opening or a very aggressive one. What do you think, depending on what his compadre Nada's Body is doing?
I think a defensive opener is what he's going for here. When you play against two Terran players in 2v2, I mean, the little thing I know about 2v2, I'm going to share it with you guys right now. Terran players can make a lot of Marines in the early game, and if you have two Terrans, they can make even more Marines in the early game. And if you don't have Banelings to deal with Marines in the early game as Zerg, or at least have the option to mine some gas and get the Baneling nest and make a few Banelings, I think it's going to be very difficult. So getting speed early and getting gas early, potentially getting a Baneling nest if they scout that something's up, I think that's a good move. I think it's a defensive move.
Alright, okay.
That's my take.
Well, considering Nada's Body is getting double gas, and whoa, did I see an armory? Oh yeah, and a reactor. Do you think Hellbats might be a possibility here?
Yeah, Hellbat's definitely going to be a possibility here. No starport on the field yet, so they're probably not going to be dropped. I mean, maybe it's just going to be his army composition that he goes for. The Overlord out of Beaver is going to make its way to the right side of the map. Has the other team scouted at all? Yeah, Traditional has scouted, but he has not seen the armory.
Yeah, he scouted very well with his SCV beforehand. It was kind of like skirting inside the base the whole time. We have expansion from Traditional going down right now, and Beaver is trying to saturate his as well, pretty much making nothing but drones, not mining any gas, wants to have as high of an mineral income as he can. And well, we see an armory going down for LLL's Mel as well. Well, I could be a poet, seems like.
LLL Mel.
As well.
Yeah, you should be a poet.
That was totally unintentional, by the way. That was just like how it... never mind.
If casting doesn't work out, you can always become a poet. Yeah, so Mel is getting a starport, is getting that armory, and he might be dropping some Hellbats there. On the left side of the map, though, we see Beaver, our orange Zerg. What is he up to? He's not really been doing that much yet. Just droning, getting some gas, and really getting a good economy, and getting a third base. Wow, that's a ballsy move, man. He's playing it full on econ.
Yeah, I think he's relying on his companion here to keep their opponents busy enough so that he can saturate those bases, take up, and then just flood units. And that would be a very good plan. And considering we have double Hellbat drop heading their way, there are missile turrets being constructed right now. One is already constructed, but still a lot of space to load those off. Well, okay, here we go. But a lot of Marines. That was not a very good place to unload those Hellbats. Still, he forced an SCV pull, and he can relocate now and go for the other Terran. I have to say that dropping a Terran with Hellbats is a lot more difficult than dropping a Protoss or Zerg. Just saying.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more difficult to make that work. At the same time, the drop is happening in the mineral line of Beaver. Mel has been able to do a lot of damage there and continues to do damage. There's still 2 Hellbats alive. Oh, the drones are going to be bunching up together, and this Queen will not beat these 2 Hellbats. Is going to do an inject and then die off. These Hellbats doing some magnificent damage here. I was trying to bring up the worker kill tab, but that doesn't exist in 2v2 once more. I think I've tried like 6 times now. The Hellbats have 10 and 12 kills. That's insane. So that's at least 20-ish workers killed there by Mel.
Yeah, and he's continuing to do this. In the meantime, it's like a Hellbat drop versus a Hellbat drop, because in the meantime, Nada's body's been dropping Mel's expansion the same way Mel's been dropping Beaver's expansion and main. So, you know, if we look at the worker counts right now, we see that it's 29 and 36 versus 26 and 27. So I have to say pretty even still. And Beaver being ahead in drones only because he went for that very ridiculously greedy early third base and made nothing but drones the whole game. And he's going for Spire right now.
Yeah, he is going for the Spire. That's interesting. So we're going to be playing Mutalisks, most likely. Muta's always good in team games because they're so mobile, they can be used everywhere across the map. But Traditional, he's not been sitting still. We've not seen a lot of him. Oh, the Hellbats are still continuing to do damage. There's still 1 Hellbat in the mineral line of Mel. And that Hellbat already racked up 12 kills. But here comes the attack by Traditional. Is there enough stuff here to defend for Beaver and Nada's body? I think there is. There's some Widow Mines, there's a Spinecrawler, there's some Zerglings, there's a Hellbat. I think altogether he should be fine.
Yeah, and you know, there's Spire is not yet done, Baneling Nest is not yet finished, and there is no stim for this small group of units from Traditional, so it's not like he can push very efficiently into this.
No.
Not when all the Marines are firing from above onto him and he doesn't have high ground vision. That would be really... that would be a really foolhardy push to make. So he's just pulling back, but he knows that there is no roaches, there is no banelings, nothing moved against him, so he has to suspect, even if they did not scan, which I'm sure they already did. Let me see. No! Actually, they have no idea about the Spire.
That could be troublesome. 6 mutas now on the way. He has gas for another 7 mutas, but not quite having the mineral income right now. 2 Medevacs going to be seeing Nada's body trying to expand to the right here.
Oh, that command center.
At the same time, we see a Medevac out of Mel drop some Widow Mines in the mineral line of our friend Beaver here. He is going to lose a drone to that and might end up losing another one in just a second. The command center went down, didn't it? Wow.
Yeah, it did. It did. Those units killed that off. There was no space for that command center to hide in. And, you know, Beaver just continuing to build medevacs as Nada's body is continuing to try to drop. But with these Vikings here, Mel is going to have a little bit of an easier time defending. Oh my goodness, but that... Oh no, that's a very, very bad Widow Mine placement for Mel, working against him as much as for him. Another drop by Traditional in the main base of Nada's body, but Mutalisks and Zerglings of his companion come to the rescue. He's trying to get an angle on these Marauders with the Lings, not really working out. Good position there. And manages to clean it up. So, economy-wise, let us see. Nada's body is reeling the most from this, being down to 20 SCVs roughly. And, you know, Beaver keeping him in the game, 55 drones, and their opponents having 29 and 47, so...
Somewhat close.
Somewhat close, yeah.
Yeah, it's really the Zerg player that's keeping Nada's body in this right now. The Zerg player now going to be attacking their arc. There is a Thor there, and look at that big portion of a second Terran army. I don't think they can fight here. Those mutas need to get out of there. There's so many Marines left on the ground, and this might be the move that wins Lowland Lines the game. Oh, that was a bad engagement. The siege tanks now sieged up in the back. Manor Mules being dropped. The Zerglings die off. The mutas die. And there's the GG out of Nada's body and his teammates Beaver. They end up losing this game, and that puts Lowlands Lines 2 games ahead. Or actually 1 game ahead. 2-1.